I mean, okay, yeah. So let's talk. That's a good segue. Biggest weaknesses on this team right now. I'll start the run game. It's horrendous. And it's not just one thing. It's not just the fact that Christian McCaffrey isn't what he used to be, although it is partly that. I don't see him break many tackles. It feels like at this point, he gets what's blocked for him, and he doesn't have that elite generational burst that he had just 2 years ago. So that's part of it. But the other part of it is clearly the blocking. I mean, if you go back and watch the film, they didn't run to the left at all in the first half. Every single run was designed to go to the right. And I think that's because they like Colton McKivitz and Dominic Pooney. They like those two, blocking together. On the other side, Connor Colby, sometimes he makes a good block. Sometimes he whiffs entirely. Sometimes he ends up on his back. I mean, that's a gamble running to the left at this point, and they know it. So that's
And
problem.
if you take out Robinson's run outside on the right and Christian McCaffrey's runs on the left on the outside, if you take those away and you just look at the runs between the tackles, it's even worse than what the numbers show. It's really, they can't run between the tackles at all.
No.
And part of it is definitely Christian, just not quite the same guy from a running standpoint. Doesn't look like it, but I think more so it's just blocking. I just don't think the perfect example, and this is one of the biggest weaknesses on that goal line. 49ers could not punch the ball in on the goal line. They have the lightest offensive line in the NFL. They're one of the oldest. They just don't have big dudes, big bodies that can just push and get you that short yardage on the goal line, man. So
say what you want about Aaron Banks, who Niner fans were super happy to see leave. He's a big body who could push. And they always, Laken Tomlinson was a big body who could push. They always had a 325-pound left guard that they could run inside zone behind. He could combo block with the center or Trent Williams. And now they don't. It was supposed to be Ben Barch, and he is a pretty good run blocker, but he gets hurt every game. So now it's Connor Colby, and he's a rookie, a 7th-round pick. If he were physically imposing, he would have been a 1st-round pick. This is what you're going to get.
Yeah. I want to tie, maybe we'll tie the next subject with this one, because I think this is something I was really thinking about. Think about all the guys that they paid, and then think about the guys they don't really invest in, which is this offensive line. All the guys they paid, the Brandon Ayuk's, the Brock Purdy's, the George Kittles, those guys are injured, and they're not skipping a beat with their backups. The unit that they haven't invested in is this offensive line, and it's the biggest problem. And if they lose Trent Williams, forget about it, man. I think what we're seeing here is where you prioritize is in the trenches. They did it on the D line, and they're having great results. Now they need to go on the O line with the same attention.
I agree, man. It seems to me that if Kyle believes in himself, if the organization believes in Kyle, and he's truly special, and in certain ways he is, then embrace it. What he can't control is the blocking. That has nothing really to do with scheme. I mean, on the outside zone runs, it does. He can't really control the defense. So spend your money on the O-line and the defense and trust that Kyle can scheme up the rest. Now, obviously, he's going to need talent, but you don't need to spend $30 million a year for it. Get a guy in round 1, have him for 4 years, and it'll work. You don't need to spend $50 million on a quarterback. Sign a bunch of them who fit his system, who were 1st-round picks, the Darnolds and Mac Jones of the world. You could be one of the only teams that builds a team like that because you have Kyle Shanahan. That's the whole point.
If someone would make Kyle get out of his own way, take away that power and be like, Kyle, you're freaking amazing with this offense and this scheme, and what you do with these wide receivers and these quarterbacks is fantastic. But the fact that you won't invest in this O-line is what's killing you. So we're going to take away your power. We're going to make you invest in the offensive line this year. If someone would do that, they could win a Super Bowl with this team. That's what's missing from this team. That's what's been missing from this team, is just they don't have dudes on that line outside of Trent Williams, who's 37 years old now. So they really just that is what's missing from this team. That's what's been missing from this team for a long time. And Kyle's got to get out of his own way. John Lynch has to really put his foot down. Jed York, if you had an O-line, Kyle, you would probably be a Super Bowl champion right now. Let's get that O-line for you, because you can do wonders with these wide receivers and these quarterbacks.
Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code COHN, COHN, and download the app now. Yeah. And if you had an offensive line, maybe your quarterbacks would stay healthy. If you had an offensive line, maybe they'd play even better. And as long as you can get guys like Ricky Pearsall to play like this on their rookie contracts, then what are you paying the Brandon Ayuk's of the world that much money for? And I like Brandon, but that's a lot of money. And it's not something you have to do. More weaknesses on this team. It's not just the running game. Renardo Green is starting to concern me. Teams are going after him. I mean, he's busting coverages. He's committing penalties, long penalties. Like when he gets burned, it's for a lot of yards. And you can't keep this guy in the lineup if he's that big of a liability. Because I'd like to see what Chase Lucas could do out there, or Darrell Luter Jr. Like he had a rough offseason. He missed all of training camp. He's their weak link right now on defense. I'm concerned about Renardo.
Yeah, someone asked earlier with a super chat, asked about what we should trade for. A corner is a perfect position to trade for. If you're going to trade for something, trade for a corner, because that's pretty much plug and play. A great corner you can just insert right away. It's different from the offensive line that really has to understand the scheme and the blocking assignments. With a corner, you could just trade for him, put him on an island. So, yet Green he's had good moments, but honestly, there's been a lot of moments where he get absolutely cooked, turned around. And corner's the hardest position in the NFL to play, but guys like Deommodore Lenoir show you the difference between his level and Green's. Now, I'm not going to write off Green. It's still early in his career, but if you're looking at that defense, the DB spot, the corner spot specifically, is one of the weaknesses. Safety looks fantastic. Nickel looks fantastic. Demo's fantastic. It's just that corner two, that's a little bit of a concern. Like that's the one weakness that you might see on this defense, but hopefully he snaps out of it.
And it's funny, we forgot to put this guy in the biggest positives. It's incredible how much 2 weeks changes everything. Because for like 2 years, up until 2 weeks ago, we were just constantly harping on the kicker position. He was like the biggest weakness on the team. Now he's gone, and kicker isn't a weakness anymore. In fact, Eddie P seems like a strength, man. I mean, he's more like Robbie Gould in that he's a guy who may not have the strongest leg, but he's accurate, which is what this team needs. So maybe I jinxed it, but so far they turned a big weakness into a big strength.
I agree. I think it's obvious the biggest weaknesses on this team. Oh, I got one more. But the biggest weakness on this team is the offensive line and running game, and maybe Renardo right now.
Yep.
I got another one for you though. This one, a lot of people disagree with me, but I'm looking at the first half of the game. What is it, like a minute 50 left and 3 timeouts? And I think Kyle did in the previous game also, where the goal for him is a field goal. A field goal should be what you settle for in those situations. It shouldn't be the goal. And you got to stop running down the clock. Like he's letting the clock just run all the way down to where you're not giving yourself an opportunity to go for a touchdown. It's like his whole specific goal is, we're going to kick a field goal here. That shouldn't be the mindset. When points are hard to come by and you have the ball, that's a possession you can't take for granted. So he needs to be more aggressive. Before that half, to me, that was an opportunity to put 6 on the board. And then if you don't get it, you got a kicker that you can kick with. But you could tell by the way he was managing the clock, that was never his intention. His whole point was like, hey, let's go down here and kick a field goal before the half. He's got to change that mentality. When right now points are hard to come by, you got to take advantage of every possession and be more aggressive. I think Mac Jones was playing fantastic at that time. I would have liked to see him push it and not let the clock run down to like 20 seconds.